Hello, beautiful souls. It is Diane from Wisdom of the Akashics. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, and also your the sessions that people are booking with me. I really appreciate them. I appreciate all of the people that are coming and viewing the videos and that are, subscribing and then reaching out. It really helps to know that the information is providing value for you. And I'll be honest, I haven't been particularly on a set schedule of any kind to do the videos, in part because of my schedule and that my commitment to the clients that I'm working with. But I've been sitting this morning and I've been thinking a lot about the work that I've done, the work that I've been assisted in doing, the times that I have reached out for help, understanding this twin journey. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I've decided that I'm actually going to offer twin flame clearings. And what those are that getting into the energetic story, so getting into, the energetics of what's going on, the blocks, the restrictions, the things that are holding us back, the past life stories, the present life stories, one twin's ready, one twin's not, whatever you want to call it, the one's running, one's chasing, and all of that. Because on an energetic level, if you understand and believe in a twin soul relationship, you know in your heart that that relationship is it's in your field as much as it's in theirs. So it is literally like the twin soul is born. I'll use the example of a male and a female energy. We're born, we're birthed into the universe, we separate, and then we create individual life stories and life incarnations, but our soul is in union with someone. And when you have that union, you cannot be separated from them no matter what. It doesn't matter. We can put up the blocks, we can put up the barriers, we can put up the frustrations of not wanting to necessarily participate in them at this time. It's like being mad at a family member that you're not talking to presently, or somebody that you may have a relationship with that you're very close to, but it's not in alignment right now. And so the clearings are about going into your field, and this would be done through information and permission. And in that energetic work, I do a combination of Reiki, quantum healing, and then clearing the programs of separation. Because I do this work myself, I do it for myself, and I do it in the relationship that I am in with my twin. And when I get really clear energetically, what shows up is very different when I'm in lower energetic programs versus high vibrational love. And because as a Reiki master, I know how powerful doing a Reiki session is with somebody who doesn't need to be present. They can be across the world. And as long as I have soul permission and permission from that person to go work in their field, we can do amazing and powerful things. So I'm going to be offering these sessions. I'm going to set the price of them right now for $55, and I double digit all of my work, because every number 2233445 has a resonance in and of its own. I'll be very honest with you, I have not looked up 55 because I intuitively just know that's the right one. They're not full sessions like my angel communication sessions that are 90 minutes long, because I'm going to go into the space here, I'm going to enter your field, I'm going to call up incorrect information, we're going to clear it, then we're going to put in, it's like clear the void and then plant in and put in union information and alignment and unity and abundance and love and all of those things. And I can do them here by myself in shorter amount of time. But we have to commit to something. We have to commit to involving ourselves in the process. And somebody actually said to me yesterday, well, if you're helping people, why are you charging? And I'm actually almost a little bit appalled at that, because I was like, really, that's how you see it? So I said, so for example, do you feel like my landlord is going to say to me, Diane, you're helping people. You don't need to pay your rent. I'm going to go to the grocery store and say, hey, I'm a light worker. I'm an energy worker. I'm a Reiki master. I don't think I need to pay for my groceries because I help people. Let's get real. This is what we do. And I'm moving out of being a senior executive administrator for 30 years into this work. And this is how I move forward in my life and pay my bills and do all of that. So if you feel energetically, for one thing, that people shouldn't charge for services like this, I can guarantee you lack is going to be showing up everywhere in your life. Because first of all, if you say, oh, well, I went to a lawyer and he helped me settle my estate or my divorce, or I went to a dentist and he fixed my tooth, those people are helping people. If you go to the grocery store and somebody helps you put your groceries through and bags your grocery and walks them out your car, they're helping you. If you go to the hair salon and you get a nice new hairdo and you come home and you feel better and vibrationally you feel uplifted, that person helped you. So to say that they should all be remunerated or and that they should accept money for their fee or whatever it is that they're doing, and that somebody that's in this arena should not, I guarantee you lack will bring more lack. And that's a lack mentality, and it's a judgmental mentality. So I'm addressing it right now. So yes, I charge. Yes, I'm going to continue to charge. I do over and above for everybody that I work with. And so I actually go to bed very peacefully. So I'm offering these sessions. I'm not sure how long I'm going to offer them for, because I intuitively just got all of this information today to get up and allow this. And because I am in this twin journey and I have a tremendous amount of empathy and understanding and compassion for this journey, this is my gift to you to do this for $55, and that's your investment. So if that's $3 a day of coffee, it takes you, approximately 20 days of coffees to pay for that energetic work to be done. You can send me an email at wisdomoftheakashics@gmail.com and say, Diane, I'd like a twin energy clearing. You can just put that in the subject line, and then we'll make arrangements for payment. And I will do that for you. I generally will have it done within 48 to 72 hours. I might even have it done based on time. I could have it done sooner, but that's the length of time that I will, because I want to make sure that I go in there, and however long I am in a session and I'm in my meditation and prayer and my visualization and my clearing energy, it will be what it's going to be. And so I want to make sure I have a fair amount of time to give each one of those sessions. And so if you're interested in them, reach out. And to me, it's kind of like, what are you willing to invest? Because if you have an issue about the money, that's all the more reason to look at it, because there's a lack issue there. And when we deal in the Akashic Records, we talk about such things as vows of poverty, which keeps us away from having really any sort of abundance, period. People think poverty is about money. It's being impoverished in any way. And we clear that in the records, but those sessions are extensive, they're longer, and you can email me if you also want to know more about those. And I also have just launched a 12-week coaching program. And so if you're interested in these sessions, reach out. What I'd like to talk to you today about, though, is the energy of what my belief is around what a twin relationship is. So I look at it, and I like analogies. I seem to be fairly good at explaining things to people when I use them. So on the earth, we have people that are born as twins. One mother births two individual souls. Those souls, though, are highly connected. I mean, we know this. We know this from twins having an intuition. We know that they can be separated at birth and know their entire lifetime, that they're in separation from something, which is much like what the twin soul relationship is. But the essence of the twin soul, and the reason that you energetically, if you question whether or not you're in one, you know, because you literally, there's a part of you that cannot stay angry with somebody, that you cannot let go of them. You cannot give up on them. The essence of love that is in your heart for them is higher than the essence of love you will generally feel towards anyone or any other thing in your life. And you will feel it regardless of whether or not you're in union. Because a lot of people think, well, if I'm not in union, then this isn't legitimate. Or people, when we're on the path of feeling like we're struggling with this thing, feeling we've connected with our twin, we found them, but they're not ready, or they're having to maybe move through another relationship that they have to bring to closure and all of that. I can tell you very quickly in a session with you if you are working from ego or spirit, and it doesn't mean if you're in ego that you don't have a twin, but it will mean that you will likely stay in separation until you get energetically in alignment with your twin. I am actually the longest time ever since I met my twin, not met him because I met him, and if you've watched the videos, I met him a year later, and then in the third year, so 3 times in a row, within approximately a 3 or 4 week period in the same year, the year. So I think it was September, last week of September, 3 years in a row approximately. And the third time is when we physically actually started to have communication, and hey, how are you? And yes, I'm the girl that you met at the bar, and yes, you're the guy and the man that I had love at first sight for, and the woman, when he expressed to me, when I saw you, I looked up at you, and I looked at you, and knew that was the woman I was meant to marry, and things like this that happened to us. From that point forward, we have never not communicated for more than, say, 15, 20 days. It seems to me one time we may have went 20 some odd days. And we actually have not communicated now for the longest time. We've ever had a break of communication. And I chose that break. And I chose it, and I made him aware of it. So I didn't say it in anger or frustration or anything like that. I just was honest. I was just like, this journey is because of what I'm doing and my work and all of that stuff, that I feel like I'm not in a position to carry this flame alone anymore, because I have other things that I have to focus on. And also because the work that's coming to me and the people that are reaching out to me and looking for assistance in this journey and assistance in their Akashic records and stuff like that, it's helping me remain focused. But what I can tell you is that when you have this union, you know at a level that is beyond the physical. We're not talking, but I never feel separate from him. I never feel like I want any lower energetic experience to happen to him. And that would be, I always said to people, and I find this in divorces and stuff like that, where people, had maybe 20 years of time together, they divorced, so probably the last few years, maybe the 5 years wasn't very good. One of them has chosen to, it's usually one person's story, has decided that they no longer feel fulfilled and loved or appreciated in that relationship, and they take a step out of it. And the other person, who supposedly is, deeply saddened by their loss, doesn't want to lose the relationship, so their response to it is to gut them. Take them for everything that they have. They'll have nothing left by the time I'm done with him, I'm done with her. And I tell people, and I've had many heated discussions of this over the years, where I said that your love wasn't authentic and genuine, because you never need to gut someone you genuinely love. You can feel sadness and separation, and you can feel frustration, and you can feel lonely, but you do not need the person that you truly loved. And if somebody has moved on from loving you, it's because something changed in the relationship, or the relationship began in ego and stayed in ego. I need a husband that can give me some sperm. I want a wife that can take care of my kids and, fulfill this, fulfill that. And that's very egoic. And so I tell people, you do not need to do that. And if you do that, your love for that person wasn't genuine, and it certainly wasn't genuine. It's not genuine in the end. And people say to me, it seems very easy for you to say that, Diane. You've never been through a divorce. I don't have to be through a divorce to know what the soul speaks truth in the highest and lightest way. So if you have to have a separation from somebody and you need to take everything from them, that's selfish, lower ego stuff. I don't care who you are. And some people may feel like stopping the video right now because you see yourself in that. So I just suggest to you that you say to me, do I really need to take my husband to the cleaners and leave him with nothing to even co-parent my children with, so I get some sort of satisfaction through vengeance. That's egoic. If you have those feelings even towards your twin, you are in ego, you're stuck in ego. Ego will always basically go into protection mode, self-protection mode, selfishness, and that it will separate you from love. You cannot be in a love state and egoic anger at the same time. They simply cannot take place simultaneously. I did a little card reading the other day just to see what came up, because we've been having this break in communication, and it just stunned me, because the cards came up was children are affecting your relationship right now, which I know to be true. Be playful, which is what I'm doing in my life and in my work and in my I've been out drag racing. I went on a 2-day motorcycle trip these last few days, and I'm getting fulfilled in those ways. And it was be patient, give this relationship a chance was the third card. And so it was like nothing came as a surprise. I could actually go through my deck, which is here, the Romance Angel cards, which I read a lot from. I read from both these and the Angel Tarot cards. And I could go through these, and I guarantee you there's probably 8 or 9 cards in here. If I've done 20 readings, there's 8 or 9 cards in here that have shown up, 2 or 3 of them in every reading. The other day I just pulled a card and said, you know, are we energetically still in alignment, because it feels hard when you're not in communication. And I pulled the wedding card. And you guys have seen how many times I've pulled some of these cards in my readings. They're repetitive. And really what it is affirmation and confirmation that nothing has changed in the energetic story, but it's the physical story that we need help with, and that we struggle with, which is why I reach out sometimes and go to people that understand either the Akashic records or twin flame relationships, because I don't expect to get through this journey alone. I always said if I was really good at doing things alone, I'd have a lot more success in all areas of my life. And it's when I get into closing my heart, and this beautiful man just drove by. Well, I'm speaking about him again, and I haven't given you guys a video for like quite a while. That's what I say. I'm going to just take in that energy of love and appreciate that we are connecting, that this relationship is happening. And I also really understand that when we look at somebody else that is in union with someone else, it doesn't mean healthy union. It means stuck. It can be control. It can be manipulation. It can be fear of the unknown. It can be fear of being able to manage things financially. It could be threatening with your children. And I have another story that I'm very adamant about telling, and I don't have any children, but I work with kids, and I'm very, very close to kids. I've always reached out to them to help try to understand them. And I am very clear about the statement of saying divorce doesn't mess children up. Parental behavior during divorce messes children up. And if you want help with that because you're going through separation, reach out to me, because if you step into the higher vibration, it really doesn't matter what they do. It's what you do that matters, and it's what you do that will create the continuation and the vibrational alignment and match to your children, and also teaching them not to go into settling and allowing lower energetic stuff and unhealthy relationships and such like that. Oh, my heart just got so full just seeing that. So anyways, I don't know that I'm going to say much more today. I really want you guys to know, partly about the energetic clearings. I do a lot of this stuff. And so if you come to my videos and you say, Diane, really what she says resonates and she feels to have a handle on this, it's because I work at it, and I also reach out when I need help. And so I don't know how to make something more affordable than $55, because I know from Starbucks Frappuccino, for example, I can go a matter of no time at all to do that. I can burn through $55 going out of my house in 20 minutes if I want to go out and do something even a little bit fun, or go buy a round of drinks at a bar or something like that. So I challenge you to invest in yourself. And if your ego's saying, well, yeah, but you get the $55, well, okay, then I'm suggesting that this isn't for you, no matter if it was 25, 5, 55, 155, or 555, because it's the lack mentality that you want to capture. And when you want to make a change, you have to show the universe you're willing to invest in something. And if you're not investing in this particular, say, for example, clearing, but you want to go to places that you'll go somewhere where maybe you can get a free video online and use it, but use it consistently and purposefully, so the universe says, look what they're doing to contribute to the healthiness of this relationship, whether it comes to fruition or not. Because you have to go into I really highly recommend that if you have an expectation for it to look a certain way, that we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment, and we're blocking the universe from providing it to come forward and manifest in a way that might be completely unrelated to the way you would expect it. So don't block the universe as to how you can get things. I get very specific sometimes with the universe, but I do it because I do this a lot. So I'll say, okay, because for him driving by, for example, just on an average day, that's not really a sign for me. I mean, because he does it anyways. He has to go by here to go to work, or he'd have to go a whole route different. I know that how I can be out of a room and walk in the 2.5 seconds it takes for him to pass my home, where I go, holy smokes, there I go, I got to see him. But between, in truth, I'm not sharing that, so never mind. Anyways, I felt a card to come up. We've been talking about clearing energy and then coming into union with somebody. And so I just got one card. I'm not doing a reading, but the card that came up is reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So you can read that many different ways. I bring this card up. I bring it up for everybody that's watching the videos. If it really resonates with you, then great. If not, say that one doesn't feel like it's for me. I mean, it would be like saying 100% of people, 100% of the time, 100% happy. It's not life. It's not human nature. And so in this card, though, if you look at the photo, again, there's unity. He's holding on to her. She's at peace and harmony in his arms. She feels safe. She feels loved. This is what the twin union feels like. So if your union is all about frustration and impatience and anger and doubt and he, or she, I guarantee you it's not going to change until you put the mirror inward. And I say that compassionately and lovingly because I understand. I am not perfect, you guys. I make mistakes. I get frustrated. I get impatient. But what I do is, because I do the work and I'm conscious of the difference between creating energy of union and creating energy of division, I catch myself in it and I turn it around, and I go to my videos, I go to my clearings, I go to my invocations. And so I've been doing those when I chose to have this separation. I haven't stopped loving him, sending beautiful thoughts out to him, hoping that he's doing well and that he's, managing his stuff and getting through his things. And be honest, I saw him recently downtown, where I walked out of a building, and it might even have been this week, actually. It was probably Monday or Tuesday of this week. And he drove right by me, of course, and now I don't live near downtown. So I go downtown, I go to the bank, I walk out of the bank, and his truck is literally passing in front of me. And so then I got in my car and I went up the street, and then he got out of his truck, and I saw him walk into the post office, and he doesn't look well. He's skinnier than I've ever seen him. He has no color in his face. I don't know why any of that is, because we're not communicating, but it actually saddened me. And somebody asked me recently, have you seen or spoke to him lately? And I said, no, and I don't even know if I want to, because he doesn't look well. And I think that's because his life force is not being fed. This is my opinion, okay? But it's not being fed in the way that he is lovingly and deservedly meant to be in union with somebody, because he's not in union with his twin soul. But he drives by and sees my life, and he drives by and sees I have friends over, and he drives by and sees I've got people on motorcycles at my house. And that's the other side of him driving by and me seeing him. He drives by and sees my life being full and abundant, and friends. And, you know, I don't even think he's on Facebook, because we've never communicated that way. You know, but I'm doing a 30-day video challenge on my Facebook page right now for my business. And it's really just about getting exposure and allowing myself to get in front of my friends, and doing it, because that's where the real, you know, courage comes from, is doing it in front of the people that we know. And, you know, but I'm putting myself out there, and I'm off on trips, and I'm going to the drag races, and I'm racing a drag car last weekend. And then I'm on my motorcycle for 2 days this week, my brother's motorcycle. My girlfriend's here. I've had company. We've been having backyard fires and barbecues and all of this. And so, you know, I feel for that. It's like I feel as much for the person that I actually maybe even feel more compassion and empathy for the person that lies next to someone that doesn't love them versus someone that lies alone. Because if you're lying alone, you have control of a situation where you're missing someone, but the emptiness isn't lying beside you. I would rather be single than unhappy in a relationship. And I've said that for 30 years. And I've taught that, and I've used it my entire life. I literally have said that for, I guarantee you, 30 years. I would rather be single than in an unhealthy, unloving relationship, because it's actually easier on my soul to just manage me than the pain of being with somebody that I don't think wants to be with me, is loving me the way that I want to be, is off doing things that aren't good for our relationships, because that's settling. And it's settling in a way that can be very detrimental and hard on the soul. So God bless everybody. Reach out if you feel that the clearings would be good for you. I'm going to see how they go, and I'll decide to implement them on a regular basis, but I'm going to be offering them now. It's the 29th of July, so I'll be offering them for the month of August for sure, for the $55, wisdomoftheakashics@gmail.com, and I'll put my Facebook page down below, and come like me on Facebook. I'm not doing much on my Wisdom of the Akashics page, because my business coach is saying, you know, yes, those pages are okay, but put yourself in front of your friends and family. That's when you really step into courage, because you are doing it without caring what they think. And that can be big in this journey. And I don't mean the twin journey. I just mean in stepping out into your truth and your passion, into my work, into my Akashic record reading. You know, and there's people that, because I'm not from an overly large town, there's people that are loving and supporting what I'm doing. And there's people are like wing nut. But you want to know what? They're just not going to be my clients, and they're just not going to be people I help and assist and are helped and assisted. And I don't need them, and they don't need me. And energetically, I can be completely at peace with that. And when somebody says to me, I don't get your shit at all, Diane, I say, you don't need to. It's just what I offer isn't for you. There doesn't have to be judgment on either person's part. Okay? Get that part. And that's when we can catch ourselves. And it's kind of like some people, you know, people have a hard time even being happy for other people's successes and happiness, because they don't have their own. And it's not that they're bad people. They're just they're energetically in a state of unlove. And, you know, people don't act in kindness and joy when they are in pain. So when somebody does something that feels really offensive to you, I've just learned to go, wow. Sometimes I get mad and I take it a little while to get through it. But then I go to my heart and I go, wow, that person has to be in a lot of pain to have done that or said that or done that to somebody else. But if it's in separation and it's in divorces and it's about kids and it's about leaving people with nothing, get past that shit, because you are teaching nothing good, kind, loving, abundant, and fruitful for anybody. And karma doesn't lose an address, and karma will bite us back. You know, I mean, you guys, way back, I did a karmic correction versus karmic continuation video, and I can do something about that again. But I'm telling you, it is not energy that you want in your field and in your story. So if you're doing that shit, stop it. Stop it for yourself. Stop it for your children. Stop it for the person you loved at some time. And if you went into that relationship for ego and fulfillment of sperm and caregiving and a roof over your head, then take ownership of that. Don't put that on somebody else that finally had to go say, hey, I haven't been loved here. I actually saw this in a video the other day that I was watching, and the girl said something, because this young guy thought her family was really healthy and loving, and she goes, my family's not healthy and loving. My mom and dad have never loved each other. And he's like, what do you mean? Because he came from this major dysfunctional family. And she said, my parents found convenience in each other. They were at an age where they wanted kids. He had money. He could take care of her. He's kind of a solid guy. But she said they've never been loving towards each other. They've never been affectionate towards each other. I don't see love in my household. So don't think your household, like, at least your parents had passion. You know, and I was like, wow, what an interesting way to look at something. So here's a, you know, I think she was about 16 years old in this movie, and whereby she fully recognized a life without love, a household that actually had no loving energy in it. And nobody fought. That's what she goes, oh, my parents don't fight, but they don't love each other. And that's very difficult on every soul that's part of that story. So, you know, if you need help with that stuff, reach out. And God bless. It's the long weekend here in Canada. I don't know if it is in the U.S. Have a fabulous weekend, twin souls. You know, send them a lot of really kind, loving energy, and just send yourself a lot of kind, loving energy. Actually, start there. Let them go away for a while, because it really, I think, is important that we don't get so caught up in everything being about this part of our lives, because that's a form of obsession, and it doesn't serve any of us either. So God bless. Have a great weekend. If you have any comments or questions, or you want me to discuss anything in particular, leave the comments below, and I will do my very best to I try to answer everybody that at least leaves comments in the videos. And if I haven't, maybe I just reach out again and say, hey, Diane, I said something one day and you didn't respond, because it does come into my email, and I'm very busy. So have a great and wonderful weekend. God bless all you beautiful souls. Love, Diane.